Welcome back to PYJynJoy, Messages from the Divine. This is Charmaine, your holistic life coach, coming to you with a message for the collective. So before we get started, let's cleanse the energy of the space and see what message the divine has for us today. So we're using my angel deck, one of my favorite decks. So we'll split it and see what theme we may get. So divine, what message do you have for the collective today? Divine angels, what message do you have for the collective? Angels, what message do you have for the collective today? So let's get a split going and see what we come up with. And we have Page of Water and Ace of Fire. Fire and water, baby. Fire and water. Water douses fire. So let's see what will happen with that. So Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, exclamation. Career advancement. Change your life now. Whoa. Well, that's interesting. So let's see. Ace is one. Fire is wands in the traditional tarot deck, which is your passion, your creativity, your sacral chakra, which is above your pubic bone and below your navel. So you see he's standing there. He has his arms folded. There's a little smirk on his face. You can see it there. The wand is over his shoulder with the fire. And there's two moons in the background. So I don't know what planet he's on, but it's full of fire. It's full of passion. There's the swirling of the smoke. So it's like very mystical. And then here we have the Page of Water, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. Oh, and Ace is new beginnings. So let's see, maybe some new passion. Let's see what it is. And we have artistic friendly. So you see that she's standing, a mermaid represents the water suit. So she's standing above, like floating above the waters that are a bit turbulent, but she's surrounded by some of the fiercest creatures. There's some orca there. Below the surface, there's some regular fish, so not as fierce, and some dolphins peeping around and going in and out. And this says a new person enters your life, a relationship begins a new phase, heightened psychic abilities. So these emotions, you have some emotions going on with the water, ace and fire, change your life now. So I'm not thinking this is career because this says a new person is your life, a relationship begins a new phase. So it could be a business relationship, but let's see if it gets to be a passionate, fiery romance. So let's see. We'll do a 5-card spread beginning with your immediate past, and that's the 6 of Fire. Victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. And you can see this knight, he's coming in on his horse, surrounded by people gathered around throwing flower petals. He has his wand in his hand, he's smiling. Banners are flying. It reminds me, I'm a fan of Game of Thrones, obviously. The Dance of Dragons, others, the follow up to it. So, anyway, I love them all, and it reminds me of the banners when Ned Stark called his people, and they were like, "Where's put our banners with you?" So he's coming in triumphant, good news. Everybody's excited. Six is also pregnancy. So you see six like a little pregnant belly. If you look at the six, the number itself. And then also it's all about your harmony along with self-sacrifice, loyalty, and what's more loyal than a knight coming back with some victorious news. So that's your immediate past. And remember, again, more fire, more passion. We have 8 of earth. So there's a fairy sitting in the forest, a lush forest, because earth, as you know, is the pentacles. It's also your material wealth, also your money wealth. So abundance, prosperity. And in this case, it's talking about skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. So we may have to correct what I said earlier that it may not be a relationship because this is talking about going back to school. It could very well be a career situation. So let's see what this comes up with. 8 is all about prosperity. It's also infinity. So continuous. And that's something you want to always do. You're always learning. If you don't want to learn anymore, then you're really pretty much stuck. So in this world, you should continuously learn something and evolve. That's the whole point of PYJynJoy, is to help you to get unstuck so you can evolve. Now we have some more passion. So 2 of fire, and there's also creativity. So we have 2 of fire. You've come into your own. new partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. And that's exactly what I just said. You can't continue to move forward if you don't learn, if you don't grow, if you don't evolve. And that's what this is showing. So there's a couple here, a pair, and the dragon is like you have the elves, I'm sorry, the fairies and the mermaids. The dragons represent the fire suit, so that you have a dragon is standing between them and he's looking at them like, hey, where are we going? So they're off on a trek. They're like going somewhere. So it's still that whole mystical feeling of creativity, it's passion. So somewhere in the immediate future, there'll be some contracts. And remember also how it's saying public recognition and award. So there's something going on here with probably more than likely it'll be a career. More earth, two of earth. So look at this. A fairy is in the forest and she's got all her little magic as she's flying in. The magic is just pouring from her. She's holding an orb of rainbows. You can see the rainbow also in the corner. So it's again very lush, but this time it's saying it's too much going on at once. So it's a lot to balance, a lot to handle. The need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. That's the distant past. So in the distant past, it's where you may have been taking on too many projects because this is certainly seems to be more of a career focused situation, money. So in earth, I already said that earth is your money. So it's something where you're doing too much at once. You just need to get more balanced and look at the immediate future. There's two people, as though you're going to partner with someone who can help you so you're not doing everything on your own. So let's see what and we'll go into further detail, like in further depth of it all, but let's lay them all out because in the distant future, you have four of earth. So a lot of earth. So this is great. You have a lot of earth. You have a lot of fire. Now remember, we still had in the beginning, we had the ace of fire and we had the page of water, which is cups. So the page of water. So it's also a page is someone that's new to something. So that makes sense with going back to school. So because if you think it goes, a page is someone who helps, like say the knight. So you go from a page to a knight to a prince to a king to an emperor. So they're like not the lowest level, but they're the beginning. So the freshest, the most inexperienced. So it says being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, giving to those less fortunate. So this fairy, she's there looking at you, give you sort of a side eye, like, listen, if you're being too frivolous, that's not good. And being too cautious isn't, because you need to balance. It's all about balancing. And also too, so to go back a second, the two in numerology is also about a pair, so a couple, dual. It's also about balance. You need to balance things. That's why it's saying too much going on at once. So four is all about your foundation. So if you are with your foundation being your earth, your pentacles, your money, your prosperity, if you're being too frivolous with it, you'll lose it. If you're being too cautious, you won't gain anymore. So you have to, again, it's sort of a balance because four is your foundation. So good business decisions, okay, you need to make sure you're making good business decisions so that you're, again, in harmony, and giving to those less fortunate, because you can also give. You're making all this money. Look at all this prosperity you have. You're making it. And so be sure to give back to the community, back to maybe a charity, maybe you have a foundation, whatever it is, give back so that the more you give, the more you get. And they're sitting there, little fairies looking at her like, yeah, they better get it together. So in other words, in the distant future, you'll need to get more in harmony with your monies. So the bottom card, look, the Ace of Fire. So Ace of Fire is back. Also on the bottom, we have the sun, the sun, the sun. 19, 1 plus 9 is again 10, which is 1, a new beginning. So 1 like Ace. So you have Archangel Uriel. He's standing there. He's looking up and really, like, I always like to say how his wings are like as if he were asleep. They were curled around him, but with the dawning of the sun, it's opening up. So his wings are unfurling, and then the sun is coming in the background. You have the sunflowers, there's butterflies. It's all about this renewal, a fresh start, new beginnings, and that's what you're having here. So let's now go a little deeper. So tell us, I like to start with the distant past so we can see how we got where we are. So tell us, angels, about this distant past where there's too much going on at once. This individual and the individuals in the collective are taking on too many roles or responsibilities, but they need to also make a decision. So tell us some more. And actually, 2 cards just fell. So we have 5 of Fire, competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. So 5 is all about change. So that's why you have the 5 wands there, and they're tipped by dragons. So you can see the dragon wings. So they look like butterflies, but those are actually dragons, and they're clashed together. So it's where you are in competition. You could be perhaps in competition at work, where you are competing with others and trying to get these goals done, or maybe somebody else wants it to be this way and you want it that way. So it's bothersome details as well. So remember, going back to this one, too much going on at once, the need to make decisions. So you have to come to a decision because there's conflict with others going on. So there's a lot of creativity, a lot of passion, something that's happening that you need to take care of. But again, remember, consider a more playful approach. Don't be so harsh, boisterous, where you're arguing back and forth with people. Try to work. Again, remember harmony, work in harmony. So we have that. And the other card that fell is 2 of water. So we have a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. Now, isn't that perfect? Look, conflict with others. I love when the readings come, the download coming in from the divine. It just works. I just love to see that because it just reemphasizes what's being done, what's being said. So we have this conflict with others just popped out with the five of fire, and now here the 2 of water. What does it say? The positive resolution of a conflict. So what this is showing, remember how it was talking about partners, a new relationship underneath the page of water? Well, the new relationship is a business partnership. So what it's saying is that you need to be a team player. You need to work with people at your office, whether it's your company or you as an employee. You need to work with others well. And then as you do so, you'll get closer with someone that's going to be really good. Like you'll be like Abbott and Costello, Bert and Ernie type of thing. You'll be able to work well together. So with that, you'll continue to do well. And look how now, remember how it was a little more in turmoil with the page, with her floating above the water, but now look at the surface. It's more still. It's just like some waves and it's fine. And there's actually, this looks like, again, some more dolphins are in there. So pay attention to that. So those are what we're saying about the distant past. So look, 2, 5, 2. So it's 2. You need to have this partner that's coming along. So now let's move over to the 6 of fire, the immediate past. So we know that it went from there. So your relationship is growing closer, you're doing better, and why? It's showing victory. So the project that you're working on, once you got your stuff together, I was about to say the SHIT, once you do that as well, once you get that together, you'll be able to progress. Remember, I said at the beginning, you have to keep learning, you have to evolve, you have to not only learn book sense, but also relationships, how to work with others. You can't be in conflict with people all the time because you won't get anything done. But in this case, it's showing in the immediate past that you did. So we have this victory. So angels, tell us some more about this immediate past. There's victory. These people have come together to work in harmony at this goal that they have. Tell us some more. And we have 5 of earth, more pentacles. So it's back to these fears. So 5, again, change. So it's fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. So what it's telling you is you need to let go of these fears. The more you have a fear, the more that you block your ability to go forward. When you have fear, you just attract more fear, and it just keeps building up in your head over and over and over. So you can see here in the background, there's a structure, and there are 5 little orbs that have little fairies inside. So they're like encapsulated. Instead of flying free within the forest, they're in a circle. They're trapped. So it's this fear. You're trapping yourself with fear. You need to let go of fear, and also the wisdom to accept help from others. So you have the partnership. You still just have a bit of reluctance in letting go and working as you should and trusting. And there's nothing wrong with that. Perhaps you're accustomed to doing things on your own, but sometimes it's good to lean on others because you can bounce ideas. You can also learn from them. From them, they can learn from you. You just have to work well. And that means communicating, listening more so than talking. So that's why, as my dad would say, you have 2 ears. You have 2 of these and 1 of those. So 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you listen more than you talk. So that's what you need to do so that you can have this change. Change is a coming. So let's see. So tell us some more, angels, about this change that's coming, these fears that the person is still, or people are still having. And remember, this message may not resonate with everyone, but as I'm reading these cards, if this is beginning to resonate with you, think of what's happening in your life, because this is a general collective reading. It's not us one-on-one, which is something that we can do. It's not us one-on-one where you can give me some more feedback as I'm telling you this, and we can dive deeper. So take it for what it is and see what you can learn from it, and use your free will to adjust. And look what we have. 3 of Earth. See, now we have the dragon, so come butterfly, but it's really a butterfly. It's not a dragon. It's the butterfly. You can see the little fairies. There's a couple of them. So now they're free. They've escaped from that fear that you had them bubbled up in. And it shows the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. And remember, it just said recognition, public recognition or awards. So you came charging in with your creativity. So now as you're working better as a pair, you have this recognition. It's be a team player. And that's just what I said to you. Be a team player. Learn to work with your team. And that's what you're doing. 3 is all about expansion. So you're growing. And that leads us into the skill, the learning more. So you're expanding your mind, as in learning from others as well as going back to the books, all of that. So you're getting more and more together. You're getting it together. You're learning to work with others. So now let's go to the present. Here we are with skilled work is rewarded. You have learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. Again, 8 with the abundance, infinity. So tell us some more, angels, about the present situation. And we have strength. 11, which is a master number. It's all about excellent, like new beginnings repeated. 1 is new beginnings, so imagine 1 and 1. But it's also 2 in the sense of 2 people. And so you have the strength with Archangel Ariel. She's riding on a tiger. He has a reins, so she is in control. She has her shield, and it says great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. So we just had forgiveness here, remember, in 2 of water, to forgive. So remember to forgive. So you had maybe a little back and forth, but you're strong enough with your inner strength that you can control anything, even something as powerful as a tiger. You are in control. So with that inner strength that you have, you don't have to be so hard on others. Sometimes we project and we're complaining about others, but it's really us that's in the wrong. And you have to learn to see that. So step back before you respond to anything. That's also communication. Make sure you hear the person clearly. You can repeat back what they said. So you're more like if someone says, "Oh, you are, you always contradict me." So you can say, "Okay, so what you're telling me is that when we talk a lot, you find that I contradict you." And then they'll agree, and then you can go on, and that also gives you time to think of your response. So think before you speak. Make sure you're clear on what the person is saying to you, because sometimes, again, we hear what we want to hear and not what the person is saying, and then you make your answer based on that, and it like never resolves anything. So let's learn to listen and understand. So we have that strength. So you have the strength. So tell us some more about now the learning, the strength, the pair working well and in harmony with one another. Tell us some more, angels, about this present situation. And now we went from the Knight of oh no, not Knight. He's 6 of fire. He always reminds me of a Knight. But now we have the Knight of fire. So we have the Knight. He's there. He's passionate, adventurous, self-assured, restless. So now you guys have progressed. Like your relationship has gotten better. I remember it was like Paige. Now we're up to a Knight. So a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. So it's again that fire, that creativity, that passion. So there's something that's going to come up with the project that you're working on that you need to really pay attention to and do it quickly. So what is it? What are you working on, collective? What do you need to do that needs your attention? And then before you make, like I just said, before you speak, now is before you act, think it carefully through. Think things through, make sure it's the right decision, speak with your partner, get their feedback, you share your feedback, all of that. So before you do it, make sure that you discuss it and think it through and figure it out together. Okay, so now we are on to the immediate future, where you've come into your own new partnerships or contracts, continue to move forward. Angels, tell us some more about this immediate future that the collective will go through with their partner. Things are progressing nicely. What more can you tell us about that? And that is 8 of water. again, more prosperity, 8 of earth. Now we have 8 of water. And it says, so you can see there's a merman, excuse me, a merman, and he has his back to 8 cups that are underneath the water. And he's thinking, I don't know, desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual, and emotional growth. So you've come together, you're doing well, but maybe you're thinking there's some more that I want. There's a lot more than I want out of this. These things are going well. And that's what we often do. It's like you reach this goal and then you like, okay, great, let me move on to the next one. But I'll tell you this, when you reach that goal, even before you reach the goal, celebrate. Because remember, when you manifest, you already have it. So before you have this goal that you have, and you're already like, you know what? It's happening. Like for me, I want to live in Monte Carlo. I want to go move to Monaco. So I'm thinking, I already live there. So I'll visualize, I'll manifest. I'm thinking. And then with doing that, that is what that is what you will begin to do. So before you even accomplish the goal, be thankful for it and see and expect that it's already happening. Then when you do reach the goal, spend a little time saying yes, celebrate, go out to dinner, get some champagne, do something before you run off to the next thing. You can always move on and always obviously continue to progress, but take a minute to be thankful for what you have before you move on. And so doing this search for something more meaningful. So then you know it's definitely something more meaningful. So in this case, it is saying that you do want to move forward with something else. And look, 8 plus 2 is 10, and 1, again, new beginnings. So you want to move forward. So let's see what you're moving forward with. Tell us, angel. So they've accomplished this couple, this pair, this partners at work, they've accomplished this goal that they had, whatever the project was, and now they're feeling the need to move on. Tell us some more about that. The hermit. You're even getting into hermit mode. So 9 is completions. So think of it this way. The project, like I just said, so the project is ended, it was successful and you want to move on. So with 9 is about endings, conclusions. So you can look at it as not necessarily like it's a bad ending, but that's done. That project is completed. Now, as you're going in the search for this something more spiritual, something that's emotional growth, you want to spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. So you can see the hermit there. Now we have like all these moons and planets that are around in the sky, and he has his wings. Remember how the wings of the sun were curled? Now they're like armed or like arced forward. It's like forward movement. And he has, in the way it's dark, but he has his light to lead the way and also a cane, so like a walking stick, so you can step and make sure you're not stepping into a hole somewhere. You want to be mindful of that too. So as you're spending time in this quiet meditation, you want to get more, you want to figure out more, and that's a great way to do it, is to meditate. Just sit quietly, go for a walk or what have you, but let your intuition, let the universe speak to you to help guide you. And that's what this is, like this, from the walking stick to the lamp, it's guiding you. Take the time in the darkness of trying to figure things out, of using these tools that can guide you, which would be your intuition and listening to the universe. And you can hear from the universe with angel numbers. If you see recurring numbers all the time, look them up. Go type it in online and put an angel number and it will give you an idea of what it is. Or you may hear like whispers of, well, should I do this? Should I not? And it's like, yeah. And so listen to that. Your gut instinct, listen to that, how you feel, your solar plexus, that's above your navel and below your rib cage. And your gut, like you hear the term gut feeling, that's what that is. So you want to spend some little time in hermit mode. Get yourself together and reemerge. So we're going to reemerge with the distant future, where there it's showing the foundation with the 4 of earth. So you have the money, but you just have to figure out how to live in harmony with it. Not being too frivolous, not being too cautious. You have good business decisions still. So you are still doing well with your business work. But now you can also give to others that are less fortunate. So, angels, tell us some more about the distant future for the collective. What more can you tell us about that? So let's give it one more shuffle. And it says the emperor. All right. So you are at the utmost, you are at the top. Look, 4 and 4 again. So the emperor, obviously he's at the top. As I just said, the emperor is above all. Archangel Michael, and he's sitting on his throne. His arms are folded. His wings are also open. You see sort of how they were again. I always like to look at the positioning of the wings. So they are opening. It says organization and logic, structure and discipline, leadership. So maybe now with your contemplation, maybe you're either taking over, maybe you've become like the head of the division, or you're opening up your own business. Like maybe that's what you wanted to do. You were in search of doing it for yourself. So that's something that could have occurred. So again, think of what you're going through and what you're doing with your career and see if this is what's lining up. So perhaps in the distant future, that's what you will have, is the ability to be the leader now. You're not on the staff member, you're now the leader. So you have that. And then what more can you tell us? Because that's great. So you're, again, moving forward, you're evolving, you're taking all that you learned and moving on. Tell us some more, angels. Again, Archangel Michael, and this time the wheel. So we have one, new beginnings. And what does that mean? A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. The wheel of fortune is right there for you. You see, he's surrounded by the wheel, and there's the zodiac signs are all around it, along with the elements: fire, earth, air, water. And you have it all. This is your time. You have done all the legwork, all the creativity, partnering, learn to work with others, did well with your project, and now the world is there for you. You have it all. So, in looking at the bottom here, we also have the Queen of Air and the Ace of Air. So let's take a look at these. So the Queen of Air, independent, experienced, witty, realistic. You have objective decision making, cleaning away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. And remember, I said before to take a more playful approach. So now you're doing that. You're now the Queen. And the mind, your mind is all good. It's all clear. You're looking at the unicorn inside of your crystal globe. And it's like, hey, you are in control. You have it all. You are at the top of your game. Ace of Air, again, like we had Ace of Fire, Ace of Air, new beginnings, and air enhances fire. Blow some air on the fire and then boop. So your ability to be creative, your passion, all of that is now even enhanced further by having the Ace of Air with, look, brilliant new ideas and inspirations. So you took that hermit time to figure things out. You're now the leader. You're getting these great ideas. Seeing the truth of a situation, a challenging beginning. And you had a challenging beginning trying to figure out how to work with others. That conflict, well, that's all in the past. The conflict is over. You're doing much better. And you are prosperous, successful, the leader of it all. Congratulations. So now let's take a look at the crystals and see what crystal will help to enhance your situation here. So divine, what crystal will help the collective? They're doing well. They've achieved greatness. So what more can they do for a crystal? And how appropriate? Moonstone. Live your purpose. Live your purpose. You've come to it. And that's also when you had the turning away and going into hermit mode. Remember, you turned away, you went into hermit mode because you needed to figure out, well, when you're doing that spiritual emotional growth, you were learning about what your purpose is in this lifetime. And moonstone is beautiful. You can see the different colors. There's blues. And also I used to call, so PYJynJoy, as you know, is with my 3 dogs. So Joy is Josie, my Bichon. And you can see how Bichons, they're little white dogs that have the round afros, so her hair would blow in the wind. So we would call her Moonbeam. So she's Moonstone. So Moonstone represents my little Josie. So live your purpose. And that's what you have to do. And that is your reading. So I hope that that resonated with you. If it did, take what you can from it. Learn the key things are to learn to work with others, to get help from others so that you can, together with all that creativity, that passion, you can do well, you can excel to the point where you need to step back and figure out what more you want and how better to grow. You can do so, and you have the leadership abilities, the skills that it takes, the mindset that it takes, and you have the world. Live your purpose. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps you. Any comments, leave them below. I'm happy to answer. I'd love to see what's going on, how this resonated with you, where you are in the stage of this. You could be anywhere in this area here. And then also like the video. I'd be so thankful if you would do that, as well as follow PYJynJoy, subscribe so you can know when I'm doing it, hit the notification bell, and then go to my website, PYJynJoy.com, so that you can book a one-on-one session with me and we can go even deeper. Until we see each other again, love, light, and joy.